Well, hello there. My name is Nick, and this is my 1997 Ford Explorer Limited V8. I purchased this off of a internet auto auction website for salvage clean title vehicles, and I paid $325 for this. It has 174,000 miles, and it does have a salvage title. I picked this up a few weeks ago, and it arrived as you see it here, except I got a center cap for it. So as you can see, after its fourth accident in life, for the Carfax I got on it, this car was declared a total loss. The markings on the hood are from those floor mats. So, as you see, this is how it arrived. This bumper I've already taken the bolts out on. So you can see, it is, unfortunately, having a bent ear right here, which I'm going to have to find a way to hammer back out or something, because it needs to be straight so I can mount up this junkyard bumper I picked up for it. Same color. I may get it painted one day, but for right now I'm going to just use this to make sure it fits up properly to the car. It's a little bit different design than that one. This is off of a 95 Limited. Has these metal retainers here. So I also, while I was there, picked up a fender for one side and the other side. This side, I think the fender is going to be left alone. I will probably have to loosen up some of the bolts along this edge here, because you can see it looks like it got pushed back a little bit. Look at this gap here. It's not 100% straight down this edge. So we're going to try to loosen that up and straighten that out. Somebody, during a prior accident, put in brand new lights from Ford. Not the cheapest thing in the world. So this light will be cleaned up. I went ahead and purchased a NOS grill for the Limited model. I have a couple of lights that I found for pretty cheap money on eBay. I already have a fog light on that side. This harness here will easily just disconnect. We'll put the tabs back up in their home. If I remember right, this was for the DRL for Canadian cars, or those that wanted that. Looks like we might have an open wire there that needs to be replaced. But the nice part is, this frame never got bent. And somebody put on shocks at some point. Wow. I can't speak for how the quality of the ball joints or the tie rods are at this time. Hopefully they're okay. My goal is going to be to replace this fender, hood, header panel, grill, and along with the lights and harness and stuff, and put on this bumper once I get that frame rail straightened out. The car did not come with the center cap there, as I mentioned earlier, so I went ahead and replaced it. I don't know what the date code is on these Pirellis, but they have tons of tread and they don't appear to be cracking. I'm shocked. They're in fantastic shape. Normally you can see a date code on these, but the only codes I see are right about here. I don't see anything. Extra load 235 75 15s. So I'm gonna have to take off this I guess this would be a step, as this fender is junko. It's a shame. This has a stripe kit that only the Limited models had. But I will take this fender off. Love to find the splash shields that go in here. They're completely gone. Probably got rotted off or something. Otherwise, inside this car, it already came with these vent visors. Typical Explorer floppy door handle. Keypad's not worn out looking from sun fade. It does have a mark here on the door, but that is not a dent. Unfortunately, this, however, back here, is it actually made an impression in the paint. I'm sure that won't show up here. So we'll have to let that be. I'm not going to put a whole lot of money into that point of fixing it. But inside, however, I did have to go ahead and address, there was one issue, I think it was with the mirror switch, and it was easier just to take the door panel off. But look at the interior of this car. 170, this is over 20 years old. The headliner's in good shape, but the liner on the moonroof cover is bad. It had some Ford steering wheel cover, but it was turning on its own independently of the wheel, so I'm not going to use that. I'll replace the wheel one day. Cruise buttons look great. I can't believe their condition for something that old. Seat trim broke off, probably from people getting in and out. Always breaks right about there. Maybe I'll try to weld the tab back on. Again, that's lower priority. I will gut this interior and clean it out. But look, it still has the original limited floor mats with floor mats on top. Bumper bolts from taking the bumper off. Got another pad at the junkyard, who cares? So you can see it's got 173 on it. I think I may have said 174 earlier. The door handles in the back, even though the door is unlocked, do not open from the outside, so I have to open from the inside. And I have, again, the original floor mat in here. Door panel needs to be cleaned up, but the tops of these are in great shape. Some stuff to sell. Some various parts I've already picked up. It's been pretty good shape for a car that is 20 plus years old. All the striker bushings do need to be replaced so you don't get that annoying Ford click. It's got a couple whammos, like something right there. A little something right there, but it's 20 plus years old. What do you expect? Have some aftermarket covers on the lights. Little scratch scuff thing right here. Otherwise, this thing's in amazingly wonderful shape. The bumper isn't bent up. Let's see in here. Never remember which way to turn that. These used to have writing on them when they're new that always fades off. It does have a few scratches there. Shocks are holding. Power locks. We have some of the trim for the new grille. We'll have to go get painted. This is a piece of sunroof glass for another car that I am working on. This thing's in great shape for its age. I'm thoroughly impressed. Striker bushings are gone. I think I forgot to show that. See, it's riding on the metal. And same goes on the passenger side. I will be tinting the windows because I live in South Carolina and it gets hot. Still have the door lights. Leather's in nice shape. The Limited's even had a leather armrest here. No magazine, but plenty of coins and dirt. Some various trim pieces and buttons. Got all the trip computer, JBL audio. Buttons are flying inside, of course. Typical broken stuff. Glove box is empty. Again, original mats and somebody's receipt. So, this is going to be the project. And I think this one's worth fixing. So, I think it's time to go ahead and start taking some of these things apart. What I may do is go drive it over to the workshop and put the tools out and start taking this thing apart and see what we have behind it. The one thing I didn't buy from the junkyard besides that hood that somebody had painted at some point. The splash shield here does have some tears in it, but lo and behold, there's a 96 Explorer over there. that I'll be using for parts, which I bought for parts long ago for another project I'll talk about in another video. The air conditioning is cold in this truck. It does shift through all the gears. I did take it for a quick spin down the street. As you can see, 173, typical Ford ding. Doing this left-handed even though I'm right. Everything comes on. Fire it up. No problemo. Probably warning me about my headlamps being out, but we don't care. Turn them off. Air is blowing and it's already getting cold. Can't beat that. Also has JBL audio. What else are we talking about? Low washer fluid. Yeah, it's a big concern. No miles per gallon. Plenty of dirt and stuff. This is normal. It's just an older car. Functional moonroof too. Opens up and closes. And vents. Needs some grease though, I can hear it. Already 86 outside, sheesh. The glue that they used on these cars back then always seeps through the headliner when they get old and hot inside. It's like the leather just loses all the foam inside of it. Feels like crap. Hopefully I can find another one day. So anyways, let's go ahead and move this vehicle like I was saying. We'll go move it over towards the shop where there's a bit more shade and start taking some of this stuff apart. Let's see what's behind here. Anything from the hit? Which I don't think so. Everything looks good. It's got a nice little rumble to it. V8. Make sure I didn't leave anything in the front. Everything looks okay. Move this thing over there. Alright. Nice soft brake pedal. Clunk into gear. Let me turn the fan down so you guys can actually hear. What is it, not ideal to be driving with the sun shield in place? There's a tree up there somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'll quit being a dork. Alright, there we go. Alright. Park. It's back behind it. Put these down. Wheel up. Key off. Listen to the antenna whine away. The water draining out. Let's pop the hood. Ding. So, there's the hood release. Which I don't know that I can do this all at once. Can I? Come on. I'm gonna have to come back in just a moment here. Okay, let's go ahead and clip this thing off. Or unclip this. Unclip this. Tuck that back. Potentially hit it. Very good. That worked out really well. tuck these up out of the way. See what happens here. Hard to get a good angle on this. This is not going to work. Something to lay down on for a sec. Alright, let's carry on here. I couldn't find the gloves I use if I'm using an axe or something, so I'll just insulate with some rags. That'll help. So, using this other one here as my reference, I move over. Looks like it's pretty close. It still needs work. But for right now, I may switch gears and give my hands a break and put some tools to use. Get rid of this plastic header panel. Go ahead and take off this grill, and then take off the, this is a header panel cover, excuse me. Then take off the actual fiberglass header panel and see what we have going on behind it, because I can tell, which I did notice before, but again, this is not that big a deal. The header panel, or rad support, whatever you want to call this, it's crunched in. It's crunched in just enough to be an annoyance. You can see the wires got a little chafed. Alright, let's try this again here. So we will go ahead and take that off. There's some clips on the bottom. Good thing I don't do this for a living. Well, it's broken anyway, so who cares? So now, we'll switch over to an 8mm socket. Random bug. Take that out. And as I recall, you do it. Come on. Angle's a bit off here. That didn't work so well. Okay, I'm back. Got the light out. Light is good. So we will put the light in the car so it doesn't get lost. This down. So now let's look and see what we have up front here. Tiny little ripple in the edge there from a prior accident, no doubt. Clips for the mud flap, splash shield. Still has the original 97 EPA sticker. And then we get over here. Yeah, it crumbled back the header panel here. Dang. Yeah, it crumbled it back a little bit. Not terribly, but enough. So I think next task is going to be take off this fender. Let's see what's going on behind it. So I've got the header panel, core support, whatever you want to call that, off. You can see at some point, I don't know if that's factor or not, it looks like it's got just a little dimple there. And it's got the fender extension brace, that's fine. Everything looks okay here, the normal rocks and stuff that have bounced off of that. This hasn't really been massaged too much at all. There's the old body tag. Now, impact, clearly when it had the accident it pushed stuff back, so I'll hammer this piece back straight. This you can't really do much with, I'm not going to waste my time. This I'm going to try to hammer it a bit more straight because this is supposed to be flush with the body mount. It's not anymore. It's kind of residual. It doesn't really matter because the body mount is still holding this part just fine. You can see, however, in there that I see some little bit of fluid leakage, probably from transmission cooler line fittings that leak, because it's a Ford, so they're pretty good at that, huh? And otherwise, I don't really see much else noteworthy. All of these, nothing's bent up. Somebody's hair. Nothing's bent up. Everything else looks fine, which is great. The general structure and frame of the car is fine. It's just this is superficial. This is not as big a deal. Okay, so front clip is off, and here's where we are. I got the ear pretty much back to where it needs to be. I'm going to try to whack on this a little bit and see if I can possibly tweak it some more. I don't think that ear is bent though, because this one's got the same kind of plane. It may be a tiny, yeah, it may be a tiny bit kinked like that, but it's so little it doesn't matter. Such a small bend. Yeah, it may be a tiny bit bent. Tiny bit. Hopefully it's okay. Anyways, I'm going to primer over all this so we don't have any rust happening behind this stuff. Take this sensor off here and crap like that. I'm going to try to hammer that down a bit, and then we'll put the bumper on and test fit it while that's drying. I can't get this straightish. I guess this really doesn't matter that much. I've tried to hammer from behind. Should look like that, but it looks like that. But that's not, this isn't structural. Get structural right here. This is superficial. I can bend this. And around the corner I peen this over, this curled up. I'll hit that with some paint. Fender, header panel, splash shield.